Hey, what's up, everybody? Gates here, and these are my top stock picks for the week. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to start off with SPY. Big win last week for the Bulls, as SPY on the daily chart time frame did push up above the 200 EMA into new recent highs, did reclaim the $400 hold number, and did break this downtrend trend line, connecting the peaks of all of the recent rallies. If we extend this chart to the weekly chart time frame, you get a clearer picture here of what's going on from the all-time highs down, connecting each rally that we've had. SPY is now starting to break over that downtrend. So what does this mean for us moving into this week? Well, we can expect to see some continuation topside if this were a normal week. It's not. However, we have a lot of earnings coming up, big names reporting earnings that will likely influence the direction and the sentiment of the overall market. So here we have Amazon, Apple, AMD, Meta, Google, Ford, Snapchat, McDonald's, Spotify, QCOM, Starbucks, and PTON, all reporting earnings this week, among other names, but these are the biggest ones in my opinion. Big names here to watch out for. We do have a couple of major economic reports. I think the big one's going to be Wednesday at 2 p.m. Fed Chair Jerome Powell news conference, so we'll see what's being said there. If it weren't such a news-heavy week, I would be looking for long continuations on pretty much anything, and that's kind of all that we have to go off of at this time. So my analysis is going to be based on the technicals, not on the possible fundamentals. For us to see a continuation on SPY, our next big resistance is going to be right here at $410. So if we want to see SPY continue to push up from here, it needs to break above 410 and push higher. For this push recently, for us to maintain this bullish sentiment, it absolutely, in my opinion, needs to hold 400 as a point of support. So this means that 400 becomes our major point of support, 410 becomes our major point of resistance, and this will be the range that we are likely going to be stuck in until we get some type of directional break to either side. Okay? 410 and 400, two big levels to keep an eye on. Jumping right into the watch list for this week, we're going to start off with Tesla, which made a massive run most recently at the end of the week last week, from 160 all the way up to 180. Now we know Tesla has the power to make big moves like this. It's not out of the question for Tesla to push up $20 in a day. So what are we looking for from here? Simply put, it is a continuation. We've got earnings out of the way. We've got our positive movement up. We have reclaimed the the 50 EMA on the daily chart time frame. So we know our resistance right now is going to be at 180, just based off of this consolidation over here and then where we're currently trading at right now. Our next resistance above that is going to be the $200 whole number. So what we're looking for is a long idea above 180 or 181 going into this week on Tesla, with a price target eventually of 200 in mind. Now, can Tesla hit 200 in one day? Yes, it absolutely can. But just thinking more realistically, I think maybe we take it in small increments, maybe 185, maybe 190 initially. And if we do get that continuation move up, then we can look towards a price target of 200 by the end of the week. Number 2 on the watch list is going to be Microsoft. Microsoft, another name that has earnings out of the way, dropped down from the earnings report, but then totally recovered that gap and started to push up even higher. So what I'm looking for on Microsoft, and this chart is a little messy, but the overall support and resistance is right at around 250, and we're trading very close to 250 right now. That's also a whole number. I'm looking for the long above 250. If Microsoft can reclaim 250, I think our next price target is going to be that 200 EMA on the daily chart time frame, price target of 254 in mind. So MSFT on watch for the break of 250, looking for the move to 254. Next one on the watch list is going to be AMD. Now, I know I mentioned earlier that AMD has earnings. That is true. Typically, I don't put names that have earnings this week or the upcoming week on the watch list, but I really like the setup here. AMD consolidating since gapping up, so almost like a range being formed here with a very clear resistance, a defined resistance at 77, and much like Microsoft, still trading below that 200 EMA on the daily. So we're looking for a break of this range. It's either going to be a long idea above 77 with a price target of $80 in mind, that being the 200 EMA, or a short idea under 72 for this gap fill down to about $70. So long over 77, short below 72. And that's AMD. Next one on the watch list will be Google, Googl. Yet another one, right, that I mentioned has earnings upcoming this week, but I do like this setup too. It looks too good for me to ignore. So Google, it does have earnings this week, right? Yes. Google has a cup and handle formation formed on the daily with resistance at the 100 or 101 level. 100 is going to be your whole number. We have tested that already and rejected. We have tested that again. Slight rejection. This week, we're looking for the breakover. So we want to see this breakover before the earnings report. It'll be a long idea above 101, and then much like the other two names that we just reviewed, price target's going to be that 200 EMA above, so price target of 104. Google, long above 101, price target 104. Next one on the watch list, Hood, Hood. Not a typical name that I would put on the watch list, at least not recently. About a year ago, this would have been pretty typical to make my watch list. But it's been a dead name, if you will. Not a whole lot of volume here, not a whole lot of movement, just kind of chomping around down at these lows. But what I like recently is that Hood has reclaimed the 50 EMA, consolidated for a bit, pushed up above the $10 hold number. I like the volume coming in here. I like the big candle, the strength of this move. So I'm just looking for a continuation from here. It'll be a long idea above 1060 with a price target of $11 in mind. Next one on the watch list, and this is probably going to be my favorite setup of the week. So this is Amazon. I posted last week that Amazon looked good above 100. It did break 100 and pushed up to highs of 103.5 roughly. And now we're pressing this gap here on the daily chart time frame. So it has broken the downtrend, reclaimed the 50 EMA, reclaimed the $100 whole number, and trading very close to this gap area on the daily. So it'll be a long idea above 105 on Amazon with a price target of 110 in mind to fill the gap. It does have earnings this week, though, so keep in mind that may be something that causes the stock to maybe hesitate or fake out or consolidate. But if we get a directional move above 105 prior to this earnings report, then without a doubt, I will be taking this trade for that gap fill. Probably one of my favorite setups going into this week. And the next one on the watch list is Shopify. I feel like I've been talking about Shopify. I've been watching Shopify. I may be the only one ever even talking about it recently. Big drop from 176 all the way down to lows of $23. All right. Has consolidated at 23 for quite some time. Broke above $40 this week. Last week, moved to the daily. Broke above $40 and then continued to push all the way up to $50. We're watching the continuation now as it's reclaimed the 200 EMA on the daily. It'll be a long above 5.1 for the move higher. Probably a price target of 5.4 in mind. Basing that price target off of this previous resistance / support in the past. All right. So here's your support that was flipped to resistance. That's going to be at $60. And then this is your previous support area, going to be right here at 54. Now going to be potential resistance. All right. I hope that you've enjoyed the charts. Thank you for your time. Let's get ready to make some money this week. We continue with the $1,000 account challenge. I've been posting up every single trade that I've taken in extreme detail in the 1K challenge 2023. So if you ever want to go back through and review, the account is now up nearly 30% since the start of this challenge. We're only on day 7, and we have had a red day in there somewhere too. So go back and review. Maybe you see some things that I could do better. Maybe you see some things that you could implement into your own trading strategies. Or maybe you don't want to look at it at all. Either way, it's there for you if you want to check it out. Again, thank you for your time. I hope that this is helping you out, and go make some money this week. Take care.